Welcome back. Welcome back. So, I want to give my thoughts on basically, I'm not saying I'm right. We're in a new world because people change to do things a little different from the old way and move away from the laws of God, which actually just move you away from your humanity and caring about each other. You know? And since we're not going to go by his rules, men have to make order and rules to live life. That's just the way it goes, right? And men just so happen don't have nothing to base it off of, so they base it off of that and then go against whatever they don't like. Like women, you should be an honest, respectable man and all these things and have a good job, but I have like 20 dicks under my belt. I don't know how to cook or clean. And I love giving men attitudes. Or like, how men want to sleep with a lot of women and then you fuck up and get them pregnant and you can't provide for all of them. So you're going to get in child support and you're broke for the rest of your life. You probably won't even have nowhere to live because you don't have honor. I could be wrong, but if the world was right, I wouldn't even be making this fucking video now, would I? So I guess this is for men that are like me, the older people had it right in some type of way, right? Because, the world got built. People have like records and shit of how happy life was, and then we wanted to try something new. I don't care about no conspiracy, goofy, dumb shit on this one, because every man and woman is responsible to if you want to be a fucking good man and you want to have a wife, you have no choice but to provide. If you want to keep your wife, you have to be interesting, and women like to be sexually pleased. Women like to be entertained. Salute to the wolves. And shout out to the ninjas. I figured before I go, I make some points so people understand where I stand. Ultimately, I stand with the Lord and his ways. But I'm forced to live in this world, so I'm one of you, and I understand how fucking hard it is to live that way. And even if you want to live that way, the whole world changed, so you're corny! You lame! You get it? You're a lame good guy until about 30 to 40 years old. Oh yeah, my father said something about that. You see, a long time ago, I figured out that the true law, I don't care what people make up or whatever the real thing is, right? It's gonna prove itself to be right without lifting a finger. Because as we descend and say, I don't want to do that, you're gonna fucking destroy yourself. And then you'll learn to look backwards and be like, yeah, it's too late for me, but I got children. I got a niece. I got a nephew. I got friends' daughters that sons that I care about and don't want to see them be hurt. I don't have children. I gotta leave something on this earth before I just die and be forgotten. Welcome. Welcome to the shadows, where I am king. Alright, let's stop the fucking dramatics and get serious. Now, I've already had this discussion. I like to discuss things and talk them out. And that's what makes me make my videos. You know? And living through this and actually having to try to be a man and not have no one guide me. So for the single women, if you have a son and you don't even talk to your son about being a man or instilling things, oh yeah, you know how to be a woman. You don't know what it takes to be a man. So you better see any fucking man that's cool with you that you can see and you're like, that's a good one. He responsible and he take care of his family. I need that nigga to write down what he did and what it is to be a man, and then I'm gonna go apply that to my son. You know, because I don't think his wife's gonna appreciate you trying to like borrow their father to teach your son to be a fucking man. You're actually gonna have to do that thing you always say, I'm the man and a woman. Yeah, well, that's what happens when you're a single parent, and that's no shade. I come from that, you know? So I have the right to fucking make fun of yous. And if I don't, oh well, sorry. You're gonna take some of these blows, you know? Now, let's jump into this. Men and women, no matter what thought process you have, you only have a finite time of living. That's if no accidents happen. That's if you don't make an enemy and they want to destroy you. You get it? You're gonna live, you're gonna die. So, that means you have a time limit and you don't even know when that is. All of us, right? So that means on the basics of basic level of the thing everyone's gonna want more than anything else is to live a decent, happy life. You get it? Not have too many problems. Now, as a person has a good life, you eventually want to give that, your things, to someone. So it's going to lead you to say, I want a family. You get it? You get it? That's before all this love and stupid shit. Let's get basic humanity. That's why I said I'm going to leave my daddy out of this one. This is us without him and his ways. I'm going to throw him in there every now and again and show how he's right. But since everybody wants to play this worldly shit, right? And then just copy what he said to do anyway, and then throw out the things we don't like. Now, my father said, wait until you're about 40, 45 years old. Learn how, the whole time you're supposed to be training on how to be a fucking man. Finding yourself, learning things, going places, and amongst all, getting your money right. If any man at the time of, you know, because it switches when you're allowed to work, there's times where kids were allowed to work. You get it? And now you can't. So, a man only is going to live roughly about 80 to 90 good years. That's unless he indulges in drugs or substances, or his environment is very harsh and it limits his lifespan. Get it? You get it? You got to factor those things, but you don't care about men. You don't even think about that for yourself. And that's why I got to do it. Now, if you want to be happy, you want to have food, clothing, and shelter. Anybody, right? And seeing that my father, like, kind of he kind of understands these things. That's why he wrote his rules and guidelines and said, you cannot do this, but when your time is running out and you didn't do those things and you still have to face reality down there, you didn't get the happiness thing's going to be going away, kind of, because you got problems now. I think that's what my father said. Work hard when you're young and then choose a wife. I think that's what he said, right? Now, a lot of men say, fuck that Bible. God ain't real. He don't even know what he talking about. Even myself, I always had a problem with that one. Like, way up. I fell in love young. I know what love is. Yeah, sure. And in the man's world, what man, how many average men are young at 20, 19, 18 years old, 22 years old, and they have enough to take care of a family? Oh yeah, you don't. Unless you were already some rich kid. So that would mean if there's less rich people, then that would mean most women in the world, you know, that's your options is regular men, because you want to be in love now, you know. You don't want to be with the older guy yet, right? And the dating starts, and I gotta, find one or whatever. And I'm not objecting or saying any of the worldly ways is wrong. We're living it. Some of us know what's wrong right now. And what's the number one complaint for women and young men? He's not financial enough to take care of me. I want to have a family now, and he ain't got it. So I left him, and I got with that guy, and he had more, and he treated me better. And he was like 20 years older than him, 10 years older than him. Oh, so you mean women around 25 to 30 start thinking about the future and not being stuck on them street? Oh, sound the horns. My daddy in the building. You know? And majority of young men, we all had to face that. Men learn very early, if you don't get your shit together, the man that has his shit together will borrow your woman for a year or two and then send her back to you. You get it? You think they're gonna keep you, but there's a lot of fish in the sea. So if you don't act right for that man, he can put you back and then choose another one. You know? You can't get mad. One of you just got mad. I know it. You just, who the fuck? I live in the future now where women do that to men every day. Take as much money, your time, literally abuse you mentally for fun. You know? Just to see how much they can put you through. Put you on fucking Snapchat or the tube or the fucking, what is it? The IG. So you don't hit me with that shit. It's all even here. Men and women right now in my mind are even when it comes to everything. There are good and there are bad. Now, if that's the number one thing, is he's immature and his immaturity made him cheat on me because he doesn't know himself yet or know what he wants yet, or his immaturity makes him not, marry me at this young age, maybe it's because he can't take care of you. You know? Maybe I've been going out and maybe he's been dating his whole life and blowing money on women. So about time he's 30 or 40, he still ain't going to be able to have a family because he's trying to date. Oh, yeah, I think that's what my father meant by there's no such thing as dating. That's called you're wasting your money on whores or women that don't know themselves. So don't waste your money on that. Save your money, learn yourself, and for fucking 30 years looking around, and if you can't find one good woman that follow my laws in 30 years, well, then you got a problem, you know? Stop looking at her ass in the bikini over there. Get off fucking Instagram and go look for a good woman. But men don't do that, and we complain like there's no such thing. It's the same thing as women. You know? And I've realized people have fallen off so much because we allowed ourselves. I'm not going to blame any outside source. We allowed ourselves to believe shit that ain't real. You know? Prince Charming's coming. I deserve the baddest bitch in the world. Even though I can't take care of her, which what that would mean I don't give a fuck about if she wants to have a family and shit. So then I don't really care about, you know, and people want to be cared about. And for the I deserve Prince Charming's coming. I don't look the way he wants. I don't act the way he wants. And I don't give a fuck about nothing he does personally in life. Why should a man be stuck with you? You're just there to like freeload and shit. I'll have a baby. Sound the horns. I'm not on anybody's side. You remember that, ladies. And you men, when I'm dissing y'all and calling you scumbags, don't be mad like I'm on their side. Nah, I'm on my father. I'm on the how do we, you, her, and me, how do we figure this thing out? Because nobody's going back, it seems like, yet. So we're going to have to figure out that, you know, we know what we're doing. Now, it made me believe by living this, moving from state to state, watching men be destroyed by doing these things, repeated dating, end up with one kid over here, two kids over there, now your child support's over there, she still wants things, the kid that's not in your family is actually smart, he's going to college, your kid that you live with's a fucking dumbass and doesn't want to do anything, and now the baby mom over there is like, yo, we gotta put this kid through college. He's doing it. And then your real girl is looking at you like, I don't give a fuck about her kid. You gonna put my kid through college. Fuck her kid. You know? And now you're forced to put a stupid nigga that's gonna blow your money fail anyway. And you're gonna pay that taxes back, baby. You see how ego can destroy people for no reason? You know? That's still his kid. It's not her kid. Those are his kids. His DNA is in both of them. Her DNA is not in both of them. Her DNA is not in both of them. So they're going to be a little mad about things, not realizing you're hurting my kid at the end of the day. And a foolish man won't even recognize that. Now, back to this, how does a man live a good life and become the man that women want, right? I think if we look at the way man, not my father, the way man constructed this working world and how you can provide, there's not too many men that just get a job and you're making fucking $50,000, $70,000, $100,000 a year. Most of you, I haven't watched a woman on the internet not name that. You know, yous are in the millions now, you know. $80,000 is like, I've watched women say $80,000 is crumbs, but you work at like Subway. I'm like, what? The fuck? Oh, you never been with a nigga that had $80,000. You've been with drug dealers and little regular shit. You actually don't know a $80,000 man that actually saved this money for a long time and is doing this thing. You don't know what that is. So to you, that's nothing. You're used to niggas that are blowing money, but it's fucking drug money or somebody else's money. You get it? And he's lying and shit, you know? Or it's not what it really is. Or maybe it is. Maybe you met a couple of ballers. Do they want to wife you? Now, according to the man's world, every man's gotta have experience to get the bigger bucks. No matter how skilled you are when you first come in, see, men hate on other men. You could be better than your boss the day you step in there. Because you're nobody, you don't have work experience, you're not gonna become manager a fucking month from now. You're not gonna become the boss. No. You have to work your way all the way up to that position. And then if you go to another job, then you could become boss 1 month in because you're applying to be a boss. You get it? So that takes about for a man that's fully dedicated 20 years, 25 to 30 years. That's, I have no life, no girlfriend, and all I do is give my everything to my job. And they see that, so they're like, yeah, that's the next manager. The rest of these people, they're all liabilities. He's got kids. She's talking about being manager. You got 5 kids. You're fucking taking off every other weekend. The fuck are you talking about? You barely even know what you're doing. Yeah, you got good inventory skills, but when we need you, you're not going to be here. You have kids. They're going to have problems. You have to be there. You know, the person that doesn't have all those responsibilities is usually the person that, you know, and if they're actually training for the position and going to the classes and looking to move up, well, yeah, that's how it happens. Now, that takes time, and that would mean no matter how bad women want, only a very few can meet men that are young and they're got their own business, or they're an online sensation or something, a fucking rapper, or I don't know, their daddy fucking put them in a good position or something, you know? There's not a lot. And since there's always hundreds of thousands more women than that, then the average woman should understand her odds is all these other women are my competition, old and young, not just your friends. And for majority, 98% probably, or maybe 90%, let's just be whatever, not make the world look too bad. They gotta take their time, and so, you know, when you start working, since it's not immediately anymore, that means roughly 35, 40 years old is when you become that dude. That's if you don't have life hiccups. You know what I'm saying? Now, if man made it where I'm not letting you bum ass niggas that are better than me just take me away because you're just naturally better and I had a long run and now I'm slipping because I'm older. No, it doesn't matter. I have seniority. I've been here and everyone has been here around me and I gave them their jobs. You're never getting up here. You're not going nowhere. You're going to be where I want you to be unless you play fucking nice. You know? Men have to deal with things like this. We gotta know how to actually not like somebody and pretend the whole time. Get it? Because every man knows every man wants the top job. You get it? Nah, you don't get that. So if a man kind of has his system set up, and it takes years for any man to go up through it, and that means you're going to be older. That means you have to wait until you're old man, work really hard, and then you'll be able to provide the way women say they want to be provided for. I want to be a stay-at-home mom, and I don't want you to leave me. I want you to stay. Right? Now, what I've been realizing from watching, people and hearing stories, collecting stories through the years. There's nothing really perfect in the world. Nothing's a guarantee. You can marry somebody that's around your age and go from the high school sweethearts to whatever and break up in the middle of round 40, round 35, because you've been with that person so long and things don't work out or something. We're not going to just throw the cheating in there. No, we're going to say, you're corny and I don't want to be with you no more. Except you're not corny. It's just, it just sizzled out. I don't care whatever floats the boat. I don't mind if a woman told me, it's been 20 years, you're boring now, you're corny. You know what I mean by that. And I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, I know, cause you corny to me too. I'm tired of fucking hearing your stories. I don't want to hear that shit no more. I like being around you, but every day I wake up, I wish I wasn't there. I wish it was somebody else. you know, People will stay with people because this world's not it's not too friendly out here. So I tell people, if you can fix your relationship, stay. But isn't it odd that in the Bible it says a man should work a long time, build himself up? Isn't it odd to become a strong, dedicated man? It only is something that's built through time. Like, you can't be a responsible man unless you had responsibility for a long time. You get it? It's not something you just gain access to and then fucking, oh, I got this, it's automatic. No, responsibility means when you're sad, can you be responsible? When the world's against you, can you still be responsible? When everything's going good and you want to just slack off because everything's going good, can you still be responsible and do what you need to do? Responsibility is, I'm sure yous understand, you know? When you look at yourself. We all understand things when we look at ourselves. Now, when I really heard men break this down and have to experience it myself, I said to myself, thank God I learned the law. But goddamn, life sucks because no one told me these things and I wasn't focused on that. And I'm, living life and learning late, you know? And then those real things come into effect. Do you have family? Is your family lying? Do you, like I said about those haters and shit, or whatever the case may be? You don't need a hater for people not to fuck with you. They just don't know you. You look like a criminal. Doesn't mean you really are one. You have the angry face because you grew up in a hostile fucking environment and you survived. You had to know how to have that face with people. You know what I mean? So if every man is forced through the world of the Lord, through his great wisdom, and he says, take your time because it takes a long time to know what you want. It takes a long time to build up and learn how to save. It takes a long time to be dedicated and actually know if you want a family or not. Don't just do it because you can do it and then realize, nah, I don't even want to be a dad. It's too late now. You are a dad. You're a shitty dad, but you're a dad. The time of beating a man's chest and just getting credit for providing for their kid, those days are over. The new bragging thing is, my kid didn't clip himself or become a gangster and clip other people, become a piece of shit to society. Our generation, all they had to do is make sure we lived and didn't, get really bad, become criminals and have massive babies, and, well, they failed for some of us. But you got to think about that, because before everything that man and all men and women created that we live in today, Having a baby wasn't the smartest idea. Majority of people were scared to. Women definitely were. You wasn't a hot ass because men didn't let you. You could die if you got pregnant. You know, before we invented all these things to make sure pregnancy was like easy and you can live, when you got pregnant, every woman had to think, when that day comes, I'm fucking probably not even gonna make it. Or I'm gonna live a couple years after, and because we men haven't perfected, or women, don't leave yourselves out, we haven't perfected this. Women die a couple years after the pregnancy because something was sewn up the wrong way, or you die from infection, and So, you know, you got to think about these things when you beat your chest. Now, I got 4 minutes left. If the Lord was wrong, how come men and everything is, from learning your mistakes, from seeing life and seeing the way of doing it wrong? And one way, they say it doesn't always work for everybody, but I think, and I could be wrong, if majority of men had in their mind, I can't have a fucking family unless I work really hard and save money, right? And you don't have that dedication because either you have to build it yourself or your father has to teach it to you or your mom. Women can do it too. We're not going to leave you out. But if it isn't taught, then, women don't like you because you're not rich, you're not this, you don't have that. And that's rightfully so. Every man has to be able to provide. That's just the nature of things. Now, does that make any sense of why it's going to get harder and harder for men or women to shack up with men? Think about it. Back then, there wasn't dating. Men didn't waste majority of their life searching for women. You didn't go on dates. You went to look for a wife. When it was time, you already had your money. You wasn't running around fucking around. Get it? You wasn't running around dating. But dating's a thing now. It's the only way to get a wife now. And if you date too many women, that would mean you have to blow your money. You get it? Because yous don't want to go on regular dates. You get it? So, that would mean what? Men have to make more money or something, but the jobs don't pay more. So now that we're in this predicament, mathematically, you know, logically, concrete, women will not choose majority of men, and this is without all the social. You don't look good, you're not cool, you don't tweak my soul and make me moist. You don't make me moist. You get it? Just the fact of, since men can't provide, that would mean majority of women can't have a family, right? Or you just can't have it the way you want, with luxuries and all this other things. You know? When I look back upon the billions of people that lived here before me, I don't think they all lived like that neither, but they still had families. It's so, like, now that I'm finally, I guess, aging with the wisdom and knowledge that people have taught me, and then getting to watch it, experience it, and then look around, and I'm like, this shit is so stupid. It doesn't even make sense anymore. How this is where it's at. Anyway, that's my I guess that's what I gotta say. Teach your fucking sons, and you know, if you want a better, and it's not like I'm saying anything new. With the way the world lie, well, I ain't gonna say they lie. The world said the Bible doesn't know what it's talking about, right?